Being that we're originally from Detroit, I want to give a big what up though to all the new subscribers and all the new viewers that came from True Stream Media. And that's also coming from Danielle, who's down the street at Garden Creek Baptist doing some volunteer work for a few hours. She's got something big happening here. She works with NC Stop, which is an anti-human trafficking organization, and they're doing some great things for people here. Anyways, we'll have a video on that soon. This video here, as you can see, is just going to be pictures and videos from one particular area. And it's along Buck Creek, right there, just past essentially Lake Tahoma, which is 80, and it's just before 80 becomes the Blue Ridge Parkway. And something people have to understand is Mcdowell County is, you know, to our west, we reach down near Black Mountain. To the east, almost Morganton. To the north, all the way up into Linville Gorge, which is far north of Spruce Pine, which you've heard about, northeast. It's a very big county as far as what it's covering when you're concerning this wreckage. And Marion itself, even people around here think that Marion is just fine because they've driven the main streets here and everything. But they have to understand that Marion is a whole lot of Mcdowell County. It may not be considered to people to be Marion proper or something, but it's Marion. Those kids go to Marion school and everything. So that's kind of what we're doing here, is going to the further reaches, I guess you could say, of Marion. But what's interesting about this, even I thought, and we're new, we've lived here 2 years, I thought that this area near Lake Tahoma, and there is the Lake Tahoma Dam, which plays a big part in all of this stuff that happened. And we'll get more to that in another video as I gather more rumint, as Bear Independent says. This is pretty much smack dab in the middle of Mcdowell County. I thought it was the northeast corner or something. I thought we were going far, you know, into the county. But it's 6 miles from us. This is right in the middle, essentially. In Buck Creek, this is the place that I said it's very eerie because there are brand new power lines going to many of these homes, but no one's in them. And like I said in the interview with Sadie, which the full-length one is up. It's 2.5 hours long. If you want to check it out, she has a lot of good information. Like I said, literally, lights are on, but nobody's home. There's no remaining cars, which is understandable. There's cars in trees here, so maybe they lost their cars. But some of the homes are, you know, they're in livable condition, even though we say stay away from anything with the silt and the water, you know, that any of that. But they're in livable condition and nobody's there. And I guess I'll just say that our presumption is that a lot more people died here than is being talked about. There was one building. I'm honestly not sure if it's in one of these. I think it's in one of these pictures, but I don't know if I got the. We were being tailed, and every single time, but you know, if we'd turn around and somebody new or even a repeat guy would tail us, and then they turn off into somewhere that didn't even make sense. So, you know, it wasn't so much that I was afraid. You know, I used to be likes to fight guy back in the day, but I was kind of feeling like maybe we're offending people because they're here taking pictures and videos. They don't know our intention and everything. So anyway, that building's probably in these pictures, but I don't think I got the FEMA marking. I got the FEMA marking on one of these homes. And if I'm not mistaken, it kind of shows that no one died in it. And for anybody who wants to know what those markings are, just look up FEMA disaster quadrants and you'll find it. But however, that building that I was referencing, it says at the bottom of it, 0/9. And what that means is 0 survivors, 9 deceased. Now, I guess the official report And this is even coming from people who live in and near Buck Creek. 2 or 3 died. Well, according to FEMA, there was 9. And FEMA seems to be the ones that are kind of downplaying a lot of this. I will say going up to this area, it shows the road is completely closed. It's not closed, but you're going to have to, wait on a construction crew who's fixing the bridge just past Lake Tahoma. And you would get to a point where you can't go any further. So where we went is essentially up to the Buck Creek Trout Farm, which is no longer a trout farm. It's completely destroyed. And which is really sad. I guess a lot of people have just great memories of going to Triple C Campground, the Buck Creek Trout Farm, which I actually kind of had plans to go to, and all of these beautiful places. But there are streets, there are roads here that have homes on them. That's something I want people to consider. We didn't go down these roads because, 1, some of them are blocked off and destroyed, but 2, I didn't want to insult anyone who's there. But as we drove around, I realized pretty much no one's there. There were supplies dropped on corners, just essentially water and MRE packs, but there'd be 1 or 2 gone, and that would be it. FEMA clearly was through there because there are a few marks, but they didn't mark everything. So they didn't go in all these structures. They didn't go in all these cars. And they haven't even been in most of the places we've been to. Their markings aren't there. The people say they haven't been there. And when they have been there, again, another video, but they've gotten in the way. The Sunnyvale Church, Sunnyvale Baptist Church, that you'll see in this video is kind of like the famous one that they see, that people show, that's just barely standing and should have been wiped out based on the track of the landslides and water. So I mean, it's just very interesting that, if you're into geology or science, that, when you look at the Buck Creek, the trout farm, well, there's essentially no pond or anything left there. You look at what I said in there was ironic, the Mountain Stream RV Park. Well, there's no stream there anymore. Oh, I guess that little trickle that you see some places is a stream. But just the way that this thing redirected is just unbelievable. But we have some videos from Curtis Creek, and we saw some stuff here like that where iron beams, I'm talking actual iron, was mangled by what hit it. And here you see a bit of that. You see cars that were flung like pebbles. This happened, and it really bothers us how it's being underreported. How the deaths are just, honestly, people, it's a joke what's being reported. It's the kind of joke you don't really laugh at. The numbers are clearly wrong by anybody who has any type of understanding of basic mathematics. And, of course, the geographic area and the towns and cities involved. Go check out True Stream Media's most recent video. I actually watched the whole damn thing because if anybody is ever going to do a documentary on this thing, a complete one, they're not going to beat what these people did. What Mel and is it Adam? What they did. I don't know. It's 3 parts. I believe each one's at least an hour and a half long. I mean, I think it was freaking Spruce Pine or Burnsville or somebody had 5 or 10 minutes, and 60 minutes was covered, and it was all kind of a fluff piece, which it's good. Danielle and I were just talking that it's great to talk about. I mean, it's unbelievable the help that neighbors did for you. I've never seen anything like it before. And it was from the second this stuff happened. It was remarkable. The work that people did, the resourcefulness, just all of it. It's great to talk about how they're rebuilding, but we also need to talk about how they shouldn't be in that silt. They shouldn't be in that water. They shouldn't be in that mud. And regardless of what's being rebuilt, we do need to talk about how much was destroyed. We need to talk about why, even though we know, being Americans or even just living in modern society, it's never going to be accepted what actually happened here. I mean, come on. we're hoping to continue to share stories. I'm telling you, if you have a story you want to tell, we'd love to talk to you. Even if you just want to make a video and email it to me, I'll stick it up. I'll put an introduction on it, that sort of thing. We have some plans to kind of really push stuff out there that we put here. We need to get it on Rumble and stuff too. We promised a year from the disaster, we're going to essentially focus our podcast or our channel on that. We have a really big fan, I guess you could call him, and also a friend who says that it's good that we talk to you as though we're in the same room. But yeah, we promised we're going to do a year of content, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to allow this to be forgotten. We hope the election goes the way we want it to. We're meeting up with our elector in Old Fort today, and just to see how the turnout is there for voting. They do actually have an open polling place for early voting. It's been record-breaking in Marion so far. Anyways, these images, these videos, I hope it shows the seriousness of what happened here. And I want people to consider this was in a reasonably populated area, and that it's right here in the middle of what people would consider populated civilization, essentially. God bless everyone. Thank you for visiting and watching. We're sorry if some of this gets you down. Watch Sadie's interview again. She talks about that. She talks about the people helping each other out in the street. And I have a video I'm going to put out soon. It'll be very short that just tells you my experience of trying to get groceries essentially the day that the disaster, Friday, when things are really bad and you almost couldn't drive anywhere. But we had been evacuated to a location where we had no food, so I had to go get food, and I had a journey through Morganton, and that's another one where people think, wow, Morganton, that's just fine over there. Oh my God, you would not believe what I saw there. I'm going to throw this thing together and put it up, and we are going to Old Fort today. We'll get some water samples. I'm only testing for bacteria. That's the only testing kits I could really afford to order. I had to pick one or the other. I needed to test our water at our home to make sure nothing nasty is seeping into our well. I think I've got 6 of them, so I'm going to test 5 other locations. If you have a location that you want checked out, please let me know. If it's, you think it's specifically bad for bacteria anyway. And it's the, the coliform test. And also I've got my Geiger counter. Barely know how to use it. Just came in the mail yesterday. So we're just going to kind of, record. We're going to get a video of what the readings are on different things and in different places and Old Fort and whatnot.